Our story begins with the Igbo tribe, a polytheistic village with various gods overseeing aspects of life, but balancing out the great power of gods were dark spirits, coming from the woods and living in wicked dead children. The people would go to the oracle for advice, and she was not afraid to speak her mind, for her tongue carried the words of gods. She would tell people how to gain the gods' favor, how to bring rain, and sometimes her answers were simply that you weren't working hard enough, regardless of divine approval. Okonkwo was a violent warrior who didn't get along with his linguistically gifted son any better than he had with his similarly talented father. He was no kinder to his wives either. One day, in the midst of everyone going about their business and farming, white people came to the Igbo tribe and started introducing strange concepts, saying that there was one single god and that his teachings were written in a book in white people's tongue. Some people embraced this change, but others, like Okonkwo, were angry and adamant about keeping the old ways. How could these people come and test the gods this way, questioning tradition and long-believed truth? These differences in opinion drove Okonkwo even further from his son Nwoye, and they would continue to fall apart like everything else. Those who believed in the strange new ideas helped the white men build a church, which would become a place of community and teachings. In the beginning, people rejected such teachings, and those who listened to the white people were few. Okonkwo and those like him were rejected by their own tribe's beliefs, too violent and traditional to live in their own homes. Okonkwo eventually went on to hang himself, seeing no place for himself in the world, even though doing so would curse his body.
Hello everybody, this morning we will be talking to our author from Outliers, Mr. Malcolm Gladwell.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So what is Outliers about?
Well, Outliers is about success. Success comes from opportunity, and many different aspects of individuals' life provide them with different opportunities, which ultimately shapes their success.
So what things affect a person's ability to succeed?
I believe that things such as specialization, collaboration, time, and culture are available to affect a person's success negatively or positively.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So Mozart and the Beatles were very successful musicians. But how did they reach that level of success?
I don't know, I guess they were in their genes?
No. Their success came from training and experience, which ultimately made them specialists. Both had 10,000 hours of experience that allowed them to thrive in their music industry.
Oh wow, 10,000 hours? Who has time for that?
Well, sometimes it's not a question of how much time a person has, but what time they were born in.
Go on.
Well, depending on when a person was born and what was going on during that time period affects a person's success as well. Coincidentally, computer programmer Bill Joy and Bill Gates both were born in the 1950s. Some of the greatest hockey players were born 3 months prior to their calendar year. This made them larger and more skilled than their younger peers.
So when a person's born can enable success, how does a person's place of birth affect them?
Well, a person is born, where a person is born affects their culture and what they were taught. So culture affects a person's attitude, inclinations, and behavior. For example, rice paddy cultivation in China fosters Chinese people's patience and problem-solving skills.
Something such as birthplace and birthdays people can't control. So is there any aspects of success that they can control?
Yes, there is communication and collaboration amongst peers can affect success and team groups. Korean Air had a lot of crashes during the 80s and 90s due to their lack of communication with the pilot. So once the airline began to clearly communicate issues and problems and misunderstandings, the crashes declined.
Wow, communication really is everything. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's me, your favorite historian. My team found some wild stuff this week, and something especially interesting was this reality show called Love and Poetry Venice. It's sort of your classic reality show, except that it's full of graphic murders, which kind of sucks because this TV station has a really strict no violence policy. But it's okay, you know? I mean, we're kind of short on time this week anyway, so we've got to cut out the meat of the show. So instead, we're going to play the confessionals at the beginning, then skip right to the very end of the season where they sort of revived all the characters for this meta commentary on the story. And that's really all that we have on these old tapes. Most of the rest of the footage was corrupted or unintelligible. So we're going to go ahead and play the footage now, and I hope that you enjoy Love and Poetry Venice.
Hello, I'm Amelia. I'm Yago's wife, and most people think that Yago is honest and kind. However, he's very mischievous, and I'm on to him. But I love him with all of my heart.
Hey man, you already know what's going on. It's Bianca. We live at your man's house. I'm main mistress of Casio, and I just want to address the people that keep calling me a I am a professional so please don't get that twisted.
Hey, good morning. I'm Mr. B, and I'm Desimona's father. I cannot believe she married him behind my back. Like, why would she do that?
What's up, gang? My name is Casio. I just got promoted, and don't tell my wife this, but I have a side chick, Bianca, and she's way more cool than my wife.
Hello, my name is Desdemona, wife of Othello, you know, the main chick. And me and Othello are just so in love. We're gonna be together forever, and I would never, ever, ever, ever cheat on him. Oh yeah, he bought me this handkerchief. So cute.
What's up? My name is Yago, and Othello thinks I'm his friend, but I'm not. He lost me since he higher rank Casio, and I have a plan. It has to do something about his girl. I don't know. I'm really crazy. Actually.
I'm Rodrigo, and I'm really sad because Desdemona just got married with Othello. But don't worry, I got a plan with my homie, Iago. And Othello doesn't know what is gonna do him.
Yo, I'm Othello, you know, I got my troops and everything, so be careful when you talk on me. I love Desdemona, so she better not cheat on me. And you guys better not play on her too. You know, I got my right hand Casio too. That's my guy. I trust him. And there's Iago, you know, he's just there, baby. Yeah, that's it.
So that was the end of the confessional section, and now we're on to the interview section at the end that I was talking about.
Now it was a good season. Now let's bring in the ladies. Thanks for coming in tonight, ladies.
Well, you know, I gotta come out and support. Just gotta come and set the record straight and let all these females know that Casio is my man's, and he may have bought me 2 rings that I claimed that he bought, but he didn't really buy. But we're gonna pretend that he bought it, and we're gonna let all these people know that Casio's not the one to play with. Okay? He's the one that got the lieutenant position, and we're gonna
okay. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
So there's no actual commercial footage that we can find with these records, and we don't have anything to replace it with because this show doesn't have any sponsors. Not to guilt trip anyone, but anyway, back to the show.
And we're back and ready to spill all the tea. Now let's move on to Amelia. Amelia, you were disappointed that your husband was not selected to receive the lieutenant position.
Yes, but you know, I saw this one coming, and me and him talked about it, and he's just gonna have to put in the work and try harder next time to get lieutenant.
Wait, what? Shut up.
Wonderful. Now our viewers have a question for Barbantio. Why don't you want Desdemona to marry Othello?
I don't like Othello. I just don't think this is the right person for my daughter.
What you talking about?
I don't like him.
You're talking nonsense right now.
Dad, can you please just shut up? Like, me and Othello are married now, and you just have to get over it.
Othello, why would you choose Casio over Iago for the lieutenant position?
Everything is because of Iago. I used to trust this guy, but now can't trust him no more.
Wait, what? So because you ranked Casio, so because wait, don't. So everything went in plan, like I planned, so